Okay, so round three of playoffs finished, and there were, I would say, a bunch of pretty interesting upsets today, or just a few, really, not a ton, but we did have our first teams making top eight, and we had our first teams eliminated. So for the first teams to make top eight, we had Secret, and it did end up beating Bliss 2-0, and qualified to top eight, and Furia ended up beating Bleed in what looked like would be at the start would be a easy game for Furia. Bleed fought back really well on the second map, but it still wasn't enough, and Furia were able to close out 2-0. So Secret and Furia do move on to the 3-0 and qualify for main stage after the end of the playoffs. Uh, in the best of ones today, to for the teams that were 1-1, we had Dark Zero beating Scars, which was pretty predictable. FaZe beat Beast Coast barely. This is a very close game. Beast Coast really should have won this game, but they kind of sold that last round in overtime. So FaZe ended up coming out on top of this one. Now this was the biggest upset of the day. I don't think anybody had this happening. This is kind of like that FaZe Secret game at the start of the bracket where like nobody probably had Secret winning that. Talon ended up beating BDS in overtime in a best of one, sending BDS to the lower bracket, and Talon advancing to 2-1, one win away from main stage. And then for ITB and M80, I really thought ITB were better than this, but M80 just outclassed them entirely and demolished them on Oregon. So ITB are definitely looking pretty weak right now after losing both to Bleed and now getting demolished by M80. And for the elimination games, E1 played CAG. E1 are probably like the worst second seeded Brazilian team I've seen in quite some time. And they're so bad they get eliminated by CAG in 2 maps. So E1 come into this tournament as the second seed out of Brazil and don't win a single map and go home immediately after 2 days of playing. And for SSG Liquid, it did go 3 maps like I predicted it would, and I did say this would be a toss up, but um, Iconic was so terrible today that Liquid were able to come out on top of this match and eliminate Space Station. So it's a rough tournament for SSG. They haven't gotten eliminated without winning a game in quite some time. Well, they did go through phase one, so they did win games at this tournament, but SSG are almost always a team that make top eight at most events. So this is a rough one for them. But yeah, as you can see, like some of the players who got eliminated today, I mean, Iconic is just like what? This is horrible. This is worse than Lagonis, and he can't kill anyone. He had an him and Lagonis were competing for who could have a worse stat line, and also with E1 getting eliminated, like they have like 3 players here, all at the bottom of the leaderboards. Emps was literally the worst rated player at the tournament until today, where he actually played all right, but he was right up here with Arthur before, and STK also like really bad. It felt like this E1 team where it was just like it was Perez, and that was really it. It just felt like he was kind of carrying them the whole time, and if he couldn't like get a multi kill every round, the E1 were just kind of screwed. So yeah, E1 and SSG eliminated even after a how did like I mean look, the rest of SSG played fine. The faults really even though he ended with a good rating, he definitely had a rougher stage 2. He had a really good stage 1, but his rating definitely fell. This is the first tournament since I think it started in Copenhagen for SSG, where Jane Ino wasn't their highest rated player on the team. I think for 2023, Jane Ino was the highest rated player in SSG in both their NAL stages, both majors and Six Invitational. He was always the highest rated player, so very consistent player, and still, not like a terrible tournament for him, but definitely his worst one in a while. And then for E1, I mean, look at this. This is horrid. The Paris is carrying these guys. Also, another thing is Uzis is having a rough tournament as well. He was like the top rated player in the European League, and he is not doing so hot right now. And same thing with Kendra here. He is really struggling to get on leaderboard. He is 0-8 on entry deaths, so maybe don't let him enter the building first ever. For Dark Zero, Pamba's having a rough tournament as well. I think most people are expecting Scars to get eliminated tomorrow. They have no players with a 1.0 rating, not even Rec, who was incredible at Six Invitational, even though Scars weren't very good at Six Invitational. G2 probably have some of the best looking ratings for a team that got eliminated in phase 1, to be honest. And Diffuser's having a rough tournament as well. It's his first LAN, like some of these other players here too, but he's definitely having a rough tournament for the role he plays here. He needs to step it up. Not that Beast Coast are playing terrible as a team, but if Diffuser was playing even just a little bit better, I think they would probably they could be 3-0. They really could be. Anything else? Oh yeah, Secret have been playing insane. I did say in like my first video, I think, about this major to look out for Joom, and he is cooking. So that feels good to predict that Joom is good. And I feel like he's on a lot of people's radars now. Finally, because I thought Joom has been a really good player for quite some time now. But he was never on a good team before. And of course, you got your usual suspects in Furia all playing. They're all playing well, of course. So yeah. Now for round 4 and 5, we have the matches of Bleed M80, FaZe PSG Talon, Dark Zero Bliss, Scars Liquid, Beast Coast ITB, and BDS and KEG. And these are all best of 3s, so there's going to be 6 best of 3s tomorrow. So 4 best of 3s, I definitely feel like M80 should be able to beat Bleed. I wonder what their do they have a head-to-head? I think they have played each other before at SI, right? Because they were in the same group. And Bleed should have won that. Okay, yeah, they played each other twice, actually. They played in Atlanta as well. Bleed have actually beat them twice. Again, different M80 team, and the last time they played it in the BO3, it was a close game. And I feel like this M80 team right now is certainly better than the old one. And they 7-0'd a team that Bleed beat 7-5. So of course, and then again, M80 MAD did also lose to Bliss, and I feel like Bliss and Bleed are almost on the same level of like best teams in APAC. I think Bliss are a little better right now than Bleed are, but I feel like they're very very close. So I don't know. This is a difficult one to predict. I really want to see Bleed go through the top 8, but I just don't know if I can pick them to go through. Plus I also need M80 to go 3-1 here. So I'm gonna go take M80 for this. FaZe versus Talent. Now, again, logic says pick FaZe, especially since it's a best of 3. FaZe should have a deep map pool. Well, PSG Talent, surely they do not have a 9 map pool yet. And again, FaZe have been a team for such a long time, and PSG Talent have only been working with Fabian for a few months now. They did beat BDS in the best of 1, but of course in best of 1s anything can really happen. So I feel like as well as PSG Talent have been playing so far this event, this would be a troll from FaZe if they don't take this win here. I mean, the stage appearance is basically being handed to them on a silver platter with this matchup. And then for Dark Zero Bliss, this will be a good game, I think, too. I think both these teams have been playing quite well. Neither of them have been playing bad, and I think both these teams are worthy of the stage from what I've seen so far. And right now, Dark Zero have beaten Beast Coast and Scars, while Bliss have beaten E1, who are horrible, and M80, who are, I think, pretty good right now from their first 3 matches. So I feel like this is going to be a hard one to call here. I'm just going to go with feel like I'm just going to go with logic and go with DZ to win this game. But again, this is definitely a game kind of like the secret game where I felt like Bliss could take it, because even though Bliss did get 2-0'd, I feel like there were a lot of opportunities in this game where Bliss could have won, where they just barely didn't. So, and for the lower bracket games, the elimination games, Liquid should be beating Scars. Liquid have been handed a chance here, I think, to go have an opportunity for main stage, an opportunity to play on the main stage. They have a really good chance to go 2-2 here. I think Scars have not been very good. Neither have Liquid, but Liquid are not this bad. I think they should be beating Scars here, unless Scars on the day people like Rek and Nina like really pop off. Scars haven't really done anything that special to suggest that they'll beat Liquid. Beast Coast versus ITB in the best of 3. I think Beast Coast win this. ITB have looked, after their first win against SSG, I thought it was a good win, but clearly SSG are quite weak right now. So, and even though Beast Coast are also 1-2, Beast Coast have had, like, they lost a regional matchup to Dark Zero, and they play each other all the time. That could really go either way depending on the map. In a best of 1, they beat KEG quite easily because it's KEG, and I mean, they really just trolled a game against FaZe Clan where they should have won, and they should be in 2-1 instead of FaZe, but they let it slip. So I do feel like Beast Coast should be taking this match against ITB, and sadly ITB, who are, I think, if they one of the fan favorites probably in Manchester, will be eliminated. And then BDS versus KEG. BDS better not troll again, because oh my god, they trolled. I don't know what they were doing earlier today against Talon, but it was a disaster. but they should not be losing to KEG. I mean, that's like a failure. If they lose to KEG tomorrow, this is like it's like a failure for of an event for BDS. If they, I mean, it's a failure of an event for BDS if they do not qualify for main stage. Really, I don't know what they would do if they didn't. I mean, to be honest, they probably wouldn't do anything because they still dominated Europe. They would probably give it another stage to see if it was just like a shitty event. If they did end up bombing out this event, but I don't think they. I think they still have a good chance to qualify for main stage, so I'm gonna take BDS. Now for the last matches, if these our predictions are correct, which they probably won't all be correct. They definitely weren't all correct for round 3. I was only 4 of 8, so 50%. So this is a weird one. Bliss have genuinely been playing better than BDS have at this tournament, but BDS are, they have some of the best players in the world on their team. So BDS should be able to beat Bliss. But I don't know. I feel like each time I pick against Bliss, they actually win. And the one time I did pick them, they lost. so I don't know. I'm just gonna go with my gut and say BDS do qualify to top 8 on this. Liquid versus Bleed. I haven't really seen anything from Liquid really that tells me that they're gonna be able to beat Bleed. Their one win is against a really shitty SSG team right now, and the likely win again here against a Scars team that also isn't very good. So I don't see how they could beat a Bleed at all. So this will probably be a close game still, because it's Liquid. They're still going to be good on defense, but yeah, their Liquid's attacks are just, again, they're just so horrible that I don't really see them beating Bleed there. So, and then Beast Coast versus Talon. Again, Beast Coast should be winning this game, especially since they were so close to competing against FaZe, and FaZe should be beating Talon. So in a best of 3, Beast Coast should be beating Talon, and unfortunately Talon, after starting 2-1, will not make it to the main stage. But that was never the expectation for Talon anyways. The whole expectation for Talon this tournament was that they would just be kind of show up, and it'd be a learning, they'd just be here to learn. So, and that's what I've done so far. So, but I wouldn't be totally surprised if Talon do upset again. But again, logically, Beast Coast should come out and beat Talon. I don't see why they wouldn't. So yeah, those are my predictions now for round 4 tomorrow. And if round 4 shapes up how I predicted, then also my predictions for round 5. So after round 4 again, I will have one more video previewing the final matchups of round 5, and after round 5 we'll make a video previewing the final weekend, so the top 8 teams that qualify to the main stage with the crowd. So yeah, that is the end of that today. Again, make sure to follow the socials, and if you made it to the end of this, thanks for listening to this yap session. It is greatly appreciated. So, thank you.